Reporting in from the dry landscape of California, this is Columbial Talk with your host, Stitch. Today we're going to have a special guest, a plantation owner and a former slave. Introducing the hot former slave, William Chambers. And the sassafras Virginia farmer himself, William Duncan. First question, how was life like on the plantation? What are your thoughts, William?
Life on the plantation was really hard. I mean, we worked 6 days a week, except Sundays, and even on Sundays we went to a white spoken sermon, and they didn't do anything other than speak nonsense about how we were inferior and we didn't matter to God.
Whoa, that sounds crazy. What about you, Duncan?
I'd just like to start this off by saying that is a load of poppycock. My plantation had a daily steady supply of cotton and we made a moolah.
Okay, next question. How was life on the farm?
Every morning we woke up to the sound of the master screaming. Early to rise and quick to work, we were not allowed to take breaks or lag in our labor, or we would be severely punished. Food that we took out was scarce, and most often it was already cold and distasteful. It was horrible.
Whoa. I'd like to interject. Slaves are so ungrateful. They always wake up late in the morning and they take advantage of our food, the houses that we provide for them, and their jobs. They always slack off during work, so isn't it alright that we give them the proper punishment? I don't think it's wrong. Besides, they're always slacking off. They're lucky to get any food at all.
Whoa, things are getting a little feisty. I think I forgot to say that William was Duncan's former slave, so this is a little awkward. Anyway, next question. What was the end of the day like?
Day is always really tiring. I count up the quantities of cotton that the slaves bring. Some of them try to trick me by bringing in a little less cotton so that my standards aren't so high. Well, guess what? I'm a calculating machine. You can't trick me, slaves.
Well, every single day we go out, we pick cotton. If we get too much cotton, then his standards will be raised. If we get too little, he's gonna whip us. So it's really a lose-lose situation for us. After that, we go back to our homes, if you could even call them that, and we eat very little and we go to sleep, and then we wake up and do it all over again.
What did you do at the end of the workday?
Well, we didn't have a lot of free time, like I said, but we went to secret services in the woods, and we went to dances where we could dance and we could sing like we used to in our childhood villages.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Next question.
Next question. What happens to the cotton at the end of the day?
Thanks, Bill, Carl, whatever the heck your name is. I'm actually pretty glad you asked that question. You see, it's simple, really. We count the cotton and we put it into the cotton gin. Those pesky seeds really take a long time to get it out, so I'm glad for the invention. Then, me and the overseeing slave, we get other slaves, and then we put it into the nearest locomotive, wagon, steamboat, whatever you want, and then we ship it off to the major trade city, and then we get the money.
What kind of foods did you eat on the plantation?
Well, we took cold bacon out into the field during the day, and that's what we ate for lunch. It was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. At night after work, we all went into our dorms kind of things, and we made corn to be eaten for dinner that night, and we also prepared bacon for the next workday tomorrow. It was terrible.
I like to show off my hospitality, so my meals typically consist of roasted turkey, mutton, oysters, beef, and a wide variety of vegetables, and desserts like pudding or cake. Gotta love that plum pudding that you make during Christmas. Guests that come over are commonly treated very well, and we take pride in our supper table.
Do you do anything else other than these services?
Sometimes during the week we sneak off in the night into the woods, maybe at an abandoned cabin or clearing. We play music from our home. We dance like we used to in our childhood villages. It's lots of fun, and we come up with many new dances and games to play and keep ourselves entertained.
How did the cotton gin help you on the farm?
The cotton gin is a huge help. Before, we used to have to do it by hand. The slaves were so slow. My grandma could dance faster than them, and she's dead. Anyways, it helped get us around 50 pounds of cotton per man a day, and we were able to ship out more. So it was a great help.
What is your standpoint on the Ku Klux Klan? Horrible people they are.
Honestly, I'm terrified of them. They do such horrific and catastrophic things to people, and they do it to government officials and us slaves, well, former slaves, and I'm honestly terrified of them. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do next, and that terrifies me more than enough.
What do you think were some of the benefits of being on a plantation?
Not a lot. There were only specific slaves that benefited from being on a plantation, and these were the slaves that worked in the big house, cooked for the master and cleaned the house. They also were the ones who ratted on us other slaves. They went to the secret services and the dances in the middle of the night, and they told the master, and that will, give them extra food and, more clothing. It's not a happy life on the plantation, to be honest.
What kind of clothes did you wear?
Very rarely did we have actual clothes to wear. We mostly wore rags and sun hats, mostly made of linen and lightweight cotton. It wasn't very comfortable. Seldom did we have time to actually wash our clothes. We did not smell good. Very rarely do we have other sets of clothes to change into. So what we wore yesterday, we wore today, and what we wore today, we wore the day after that.
Yeah, no one cares. Okay, now it's my turn. Push.
Oh.
I really love men's fashion sense in England. They were rich, colorful doublets, which are like shirts with long, puffy sleeves. They're usually made out of velvet or silk with the most vibrant colors. I wear it to show off my success. Hey, ladies.
What were your thoughts when you first heard of President Abraham Lincoln?
Okay, well, I didn't really hear much about Abraham Lincoln. My master likes to keep those kind of things secret from us slaves because he thinks we're gonna rebel and slack off if we know about our freedom or something. One day, I am breaking my back and working really hard to impress my master and not die, and the next day, someone's running through the plantation on a horse saying that we've been freed.
Abraham Lincoln, he's a shady guy. You can tell right by that look in his eyes. He's not here to play games. He's gonna tear our economy down, piece by piece. And it's going to be horrible. I worked so hard to maintain it. And then he's freed our slaves. What are we gonna do? They're gonna kill us. And maybe even worse.
What did you do when the Emancipation Proclamation came into effect?
As soon as I heard the news, I went straight to everyone in the fields, in their rooms, picking cotton. It was pretty great. I ran to them and I told them that they were free. We were all free. We immediately went to the master's big house and we made fun of him because we were free. He couldn't say anything about that. Okay.
I knew what to do. My plantation, it would all fail without proper labor or working force. My family and I would starve. Our income would go down, down, down until it hit rock bottom. We would all die in this useless plantation because no one else was there to help us. I'm done. Okay.
How was your life after the Emancipation Proclamation?
For slaves, most of us didn't really make it out on our own. Some of them found jobs, made a house, found a living. Unfortunately, some people, they didn't know how to handle themselves on their own, so they went straight back to the master, asking for a job, for a house. These slaves, they had to pay off a debt for their house and their land, and honestly, it was just a big cheat. The master took everything they owned, and all in the name of the debt.
I knew they would come begging. They were a pathetic lot anyways. Always asking for food, shelter, someplace warm, so I gave it to them. I lent them a bit of land, except everything they grew would go to me, and they worked for me until they could pay off their debts. It worked pretty nicely. No work on my part, and all the effort was on theirs.
There you have it, folks. I'm Stitch from Colonial Talk, signing out.